Good afternoon. This is Bob Gorley with Jim Lovell, who is my neighbor and my good friend. And he is part of the greatest generation ever. And we always thought that the baby boomers were the greatest generation, but artificial intelligence says that they are because they've seen it all. So, as a 90-year-old resident, where were you born?
I was born in Fallen Timber, Pennsylvania.
Which is?
It's in Cambria County. It is about 18 miles south of Altoona. It is just a little burg. And my family lived there for their whole lifetimes.
How did you get up here in the great territory of Clarion County?
Well, it's kind of a long story. My dad was a carpenter, and he worked for a gentleman that had a coal company. He built a home for him, and he built a couple coal tipples for him, and I came along. I was number 6 in a 7-person family. I was number 6 kid. And Dad wanted me to be a architect so I could draw the house and he could build it. But I tried to work for Dad for a couple of months, and he was very difficult for me to work for. I found out that I was a gopher. I wasn't much else. But this gentleman that he was building for, he took a liking to me. He could see me. I didn't enjoy working with my dad, and my dad was working for this man. His name was Williams from Ramey, PA. But he said to me one day, he said, I'm buying a drag line and I'm going to go strip some coal. And he said, I want you to come down and work on that drag line and learn to run it. And you're going to be there, run it. Well, things went on, and eventually I was running the drag line. Dad wasn't very happy about that, but I liked the smell of diesel smoke, and I was there. And I got into the operating of the machine, and that was the best job that I ever had at that point, and it was a very good job because you were now making about $5,000 a year, where the other guy was making $3,000, but then we were digging in the area of one going to be state park. And the company owned the property, and we were stripping on it. But then here come the Prince Galitzin State Park, and they condemned the stripping. We had to quit. And the company got $2 million for coal that they couldn't recover. And they bought a big piece of property in Clarion County. Oh. The drag line came to Clarion County, and I came along with it.
There's 6 brothers and sisters that you have.
Yeah.
Are they alive?
Yes.
Yeah, they're all alive.
No.
Okay.
I'm the last of the Mohicans.
You're the. Like back when you were born, did they have electricity?
No, they didn't.
When did you get electricity in your
That
lifetime?
would have probably been I'd been 8 or 10 years old by the time we had electricity.
And when did you get running water?
We had running water. We had a spring.
So you didn't have to use the outhouses?
No, we didn't have to use the outhouse in my time, but early on, before my time, I was number 6. The first ones had the outside toilet.
My grandparents, we used the outhouse at their place.
Yeah, we had, good thing we had Sears Roebuck catalogs too.
That's what we used to.
You didn't have anything else.
Well, and the shiny ones weren't too good.
No, it was very slippy.
So then electricity?
Electricity came as I was probably no more than 8 or 10, maybe even 5 or 6. I don't. I know it was a long time coming.
And when did you get telephones?
The first telephone was a wall phone on a crank.
Okay.
Yeah, and party line. And
there have been so many changes in your lifetime.
Tell me about it.
Did they have cars even when you started?
Oh, they had cars. There's no question. My dad had always had a car.
Okay. Do you remember that? What year it was?
Oh, he was fairly proficient.
Okay.
He probably had I know I have pictures of 36, 37.
36
Fords.
Okay.
39, he had a 39 for the whole the World War. He had a 39 Ford that had 3 engine replaced, and you couldn't buy tires, you had to have them vulcanized, and you couldn't go far because you had stickers to buy gas with. You could only get gas on certain days.
What was the price of gasoline back then?
Gasoline was going to the war.
Okay.
The only way you got it, you had stamps, and you got so much allowed so often. And Dad we had a kerosene stove to cook with, and he'd steal some of Mom's kerosene and put it in the car and make a few more miles, But times were not good.
Well, yes. You didn't go through the Depression years, but they did.
They did, and they never forgot it.
Yes.
My old man put $300 in the Coalport Bank, and the next day the bank went down. And that took the wheels right out from under him. But he had a farm, it's a piece of property, and he had some cattle, a cow or two, and he had a team of horses. And he couldn't find anybody that had any money to build something for them. But he would even build something for somebody using whatever he could scrounge up. They'd trade him something for work. And he never forgot that. As he got more prosperous and as I got older, he was the same. He wouldn't ever waste a thing. He'd just have it, rebuild something with it. You never got anything too new.
You learned how to re-straighten nails out?
No, I don't think we ever straightened nails, but we would save wood. If it was a board, it was going to get used someplace, somewhere, sometime. And my mother would make clothes out of flour sacks. She would make clothes that looked decent, and that's what you did.
Well, with 7 kids.
Well, yeah.
you got
came.
You got the hand-me-downs.
Oh, there's nothing new in my stage.
But luckily you're a guy, so you're not quite as particular about that.
Oh, we got along well. I mean, the family, it came in 2 bunches. They had the 4 kids first.
Okay. And
then they had a layup. They thought they were done. And then come 3 more.
Oh.
Now the first ones thought we were spoiled brats, but we had an easier time than they did because they were fresh out of the Depression when the first ones came. Fact is, they hadn't gone over the Spanish flu in 1918. Every family lost people, and my mother's family lost several. My dad's family lost several, but they had 17 and 13 kids in those families. But they lost people, a lot of people. I don't know how many, because we always heard that if you got it, you died, is how it was. And then as we grew up, the other 3, polio was a problem then. You were afraid you wouldn't let you go swimming or anything like that because that's dangerous. You might get the polio from the creek. You didn't have a swimming pool. We had a Clearfield County Creek that went by.
Was it cold?
Oh, it was better than nothing.
When it was really hot, it felt pretty good.
Right.
So, okay, so you graduated from high school. When did you start working in the coal world?
I got graduated from high school in 1953.
How many people graduate in your high school class?
12 or 13.
So a dozen.
Yes.
Okay, so you graduated.
I graduated and went to work for the old man the same day.
Okay.
And then that was just the way things were. You was part of the family, but you had to help pay.
Yep.
And this is, but that's just the way. You didn't worry anything about it because this is the way it was.
So then you went to this Williams Coal Company, and you worked there for how long?
I worked there basically the rest of my life on the diggings because this coal company got bought out several different times.
Okay. So you came up here to Clarion County. Where did you start in Clarion County working at?
At Clarion County, we built my father and brother and the gang built a tipple for Williams.
Where at?
Below Wintley's Corners.
Ah.
It's on the road between, I'm trying to come up with the name of the place and I can't remember it now, but the tipple stood on the left side of this road that come down and across the Clarion River Bridge.
Okay.
But I'm not.
Okay, over that direction. Okay.
Okay,
And then
we built the tipple there. The company bought, with their $2 million,
yeah,
they bought a big property up there, a lot of property.
Like
And
a couple hundred acres.
It would have been several hundred acres.
Almost 500 acres, 1,000.
Well, it wouldn't have been 1,000, but there's a deer farm up there now, and I should know all the names, but that is all history, But yes, we worked there until C&K bought the coal company.
So C&K is one that bought Williams.
C&K bought Williams's job.
And C&K was the largest strip miner east of the Mississippi.
Well, they didn't get that way right away.
No,
but yes,
they
bought the Dean Coal Company. That was who I was working for, and then they bought Murphy. And now I had some experience with Murphy because I'd quit there once and went to work for Murphy because he had a better drag line to run.
Ah.
And being as I had a little knowledge of Murphy, they gave me the Shannon division that now they called C&K was broken into the Shannon division that they got from Murphy. And they made me superintendent of that job.
That first drag line that you operated, how big of a bucket did it have?
It had a 4-yard bucket.
4-yard bucket. And then when you got over to the Shannon division, what size of buckets were they using then?
It had 45.
45 yards.
The first drag line, Williams paid $80,000 for it. It was a Bruce Irish jury.
Okay.
And a 4-yard bucket. That was as big as they were at that time.
Uh-huh.
The 45-yard one came in at 12 million, and by the time it was put together, it was 22 million.
And it was diesel?
Electric.
Electric. So this, you grew from a 4-yard bucket to a 45-yard bucket, and how much time between those, like from your 4-yard bucket to your 45-yard bucket, how much time went past?
There would have been quite a few years.
Okay.
The big machinery wasn't brought into effect until the coal. See, when we first started digging coal, you were happy to get $4 a ton for it. When the coal got hot and everybody wanted to go into the coal business, it hit 100 ton. $100 a ton. That's when the big stuff started to come. All of the doctors around the country in Clarion County and anybody that had any money made a little digging someplace, you know.
Uh-huh.
But C&K soon got bought by a Texas operation, and we thought we died and went to heaven. The average wage probably doubled in the first year.
Okay.
I won't say
originally you were $5,000 a year when you were in the dragline business, but before that you probably started off 50 cents an hour, 25 cents an hour. Or?
I started out at $1.35 an hour.
$1.35 an hour. That was on the dragline.
That was a drag line.
But your dad wasn't paying that when you were.
No.
Okay.
I'd have been a long time gone before I got anything
yes.
to speak of.
The coal world was kind of leading the wage war around here. You know, like anybody that worked for the coal company was able to buy a car or a house or stuff like that.
Yeah, you were jump ahead, but the only reason you were jump ahead of the other guys, you were working a lot of hours.
Yes, you earned your.
You earned everything.
Yes.
There were first half a dozen years that I had children, I couldn't have Christmas off.
How old were you when you got married?
I'm not sure, 20, 21.
How did you find Linda?
Oh, a young guy that old finds anything he wants out in the world. I had enough money to buy a nice car.
Okay.
I had if you can look back to a 56 Ford, Crown Victoria, turquoise in color, with all the bells and whistles. I had one.
Yes.
Okay. The girl liked that.
Oh.
And Linda kind of liked it better than most of them. So.
So you got married 68 years ago.
Oh, I got married 68 years ago, and we're working on the 69th, and she's still around, but she's not doing well.
How old? When did you start having children?
We had children. See, we missed something in my. I'm steaming along pretty good in the dragline digging.
Yes.
And I got a letter from the government.
Yes.
It said, "Greetings, James. You're going to the Army."
So you were drafted?
Oh, yeah. I was too smart to get in. I had no choice, you know. You got the letter, and when I did get the letter, Linda was pregnant.
Oh.
And we went to Oklahoma, to Fort Sill. Both of us went by. First, you have to go through basic training, That went to Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Okay.
After 8 weeks of training, we went to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. And I stayed there for the duration of my service, 2 years. They were a hot thing for that period of time in the 50s. So that would have been in the 58 and 59 when I was in there.
Korea.
It was Korea, but it was radar. The radar was a brand new toy. Okay, and they sent me to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. It was artillery and radar. I spent 2 years, I spent eight weeks learning and 2 years teaching. And it was, you didn't make enough money in the Army to live good,
Correct.
You had to go, and in my job, I had an 8-hour day, just like a normal place, only it was in the Army. And I had to be at school in the morning, put your day in, and go home. And we were starving to death because we had a car payment to make it home. We didn't even have the car, but we were living off the base, and I had to rent a house. And so I got a job at a gas station after my work. I'd drop out of the Army and put on a gas suit. Now you're going to check oil and wash windows and fuel gas, and sell pop and so forth.
And fix things if they were.
Yeah. Well, that made me a second income. And then you could fill your tank up, and maybe you could go buy a piece of meat and something. Before we were you didn't have soup or salad. You had a salad one day or the soup the next is the way it was. We had a little girl that needed looked after.
Did they have Spam then?
They had Spam, and you had, with the new kid, she was, came first, everything had to happen. And the Army didn't pay you enough to be hardly more than substance, that's all. But with the other job, you could really enjoy life a little bit. And it had another thing too. Every soldier gets paid once a month. And if you had any spare money, somebody would borrow it from you. So you'd hang around and get that name. Once I had a secondary job, I was money bags. And I'd loan people $5 for 10 at their payday. And you had to be right there to get the money. But if you were there, you got your $10, and you could double your wages pretty easy there. But anyhow, Linda and I got our daughter Kathy. She was a cute little girl. We really enjoyed the last couple of years, last times there. We were only there 2 years. But it come time to go home, you got your discharge in the papers, and we packed up everything we had at Ford and put the girl's mattress out of her little bed in the back seat and threw her in the back seat and covered her up when we drove to Pennsylvania.
So you didn't use a car seat?
No.
Or seatbelts?
Nobody had anything like that before. She bounced around on her mattress in the back seat.
And she lived?
and she made it home.
Okay, so now we're getting up to towards 1960.
You're in that area, yeah.
Okay. So then you went back to the coal world.
Yep. I went back to the coal world.
And you got basically a raise right there, just getting out of the Army.
It was very soon, yes.
Okay.
When I got back, times have changed. The drag line, somebody else was running it, and I got a bigger one, and this is how it went, you know. I was the old timer now, but times started good about then.
When did you get your first motorcycle?
That don't have any idea what, but the girls got motorcycles first.
Oh.
They got.
So they were probably at least 12 then.
They'd have been in the 12 years old. I'd have been in my late 20s or early 30s.
Okay.
And I got to riding around them little ones, and hey, this is fun. So I finally got myself one. Then I got several more, and then I got a whole pile. Times were getting better, and
where were you living at this time?
I would have been with the C&K outfit.
I mean, but where was your house at, or were you?
We bought a house, first we landed in here. We had to rent.
So you rented for a while?
Rented for a while, yeah.
Okay.
Then I had some money saved up, and we had a friend said, if I have a trailer, place for a trailer, if you want to put a trailer in there, you get one and you can use this property. And sounded good to me, so we bought a trailer. I bought a trailer.
Okay.
And we set it up, and that's where the second daughter was born, in
Sligo.
It was
Well,
between Sligo and Reimersburg.
Suburbs of Sligo.
Yeah. But anyway, we grew out of the trailer pretty rapidly.
Okay.
And there was a house that came for sale in Sligo. A couple had died, an old couple, and I'm trying to think their name, but I can't. It was a little house on the side of the road, real close to 68, at the across the road from the Lantalme gas station there. Anyway, we bought this little house and lived there for 30 years. And both kids graduated from college and left. And this piece of property here I had my eye on it because I was bossing around with this job, and I knew more that owned it. And he was a pain in the ass to talk with. And
Vernon Moore.
We were making him a fortune, and he didn't approve of us at all, you know. But anyway, I says to myself, if I ever sell this, I'm going to buy it. And I did. And I'm happy ever since. That's how I got here. We stripped all these pet places around here, and it looked one time like a desert.
The moon.
Yes. And even that old drag line that was down there, but things started to get slow. I mean, the coal business, now you got dirty coal smoking up the atmosphere, making coal was no longer.
This was the 80s then.
Yes.
Yeah, in the 80s it kind of fell out of favor.
It started to be nothing that you could do right, you know. And you could see the writing on the wall coming. The end of it was coming. And the coal business. But by the time when the times were best, the coal was approaching $200 a ton.
Oh.
And it started out at $4. And we all profited by that. Linda got a job as a postmaster. She worked part-time for a long time. I didn't think she'd ever get on. But she finally made it to the postmaster deal.
For Sligo.
She had a couple of, she went to West Hickory for a year. She was at Stump Creek for another year, and she was at Barker for a while.
Oh.
She's at Reimersburg for a while, all but, and then finally she got made the grade to postmaster and went to Sligo.
Wow. How's your health been throughout life?
Marvelous.
Hallelujah.
It was better than I expected. My father died at 61.
He was 61.
Years old.
He was 61 years old. Okay.
61 years old.
Okay.
When I hit 55, I said, I'm going to have some fun.
Okay.
And I started, I'd already had a lot of motorcycles, but I got a good one, really good one. And at 57, I quit. And I rode everywhere.
Did Linda ride with you?
Sometimes.
Sometimes she would.
She went across the country.
You
Once.
mean you took a motorcycle the whole way across the country?
Twice.
Twice.
Yeah.
And she went once with you the whole
Yes.
whole trip.
Yeah. She was she was a good helper, you know. She helped look. We never had an accident. I had motorcycle for quite a few years. Had, I think, 5 gold wings that had 70,000 miles on each one. That's a lot of miles.
350,000 miles.
And I had a bunch of little ones with just 4,000 and 5,000 miles on. But it's amazing. I had one accident.
And was that from a deer or the weather or?
That was right down the bottom of this hill.
Okay.
I come down the hill with a small one.
Gravel?
They're not supposed to hurt you, you know.
Okay.
And I turned in this lane down here to come up here. And to this day, I don't know what I did wrong. But
So
the bike went down.
It wasn't loose gravel.
my
You
ankle.
don't know what it was.
I've been on lots of loose gravel,
Yes.
but that didn't seem to bother me. But this baby went down that day and broke my ankle.
Ooh.
And that's just the only other problem. I had a blowout tire. Was coming home from the shoot, and I blew the tire out in the back, and the tire was only 2 days old. This is a brand new tire.
Yes.
And I'm just approaching the bridge at Chippenville on 80. And I had just passed a truck and got on my own lane, and that's when the tire blew. And we went across the road a couple times out of control.
You had somebody with you?
No, me.
Just you?
Me
You and the motorcycle?
me and that truck that I
Yeah.
just passed.
Yeah.
He was right there.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, it was marvelous. I went out close enough to the edge of the bridge that I scraped the bridge and looked down 150 feet. And I'm not going back there anymore. So I got over towards the middle of the road and laid it down and jumped off. When I had been going about 70, but I was still probably going 50.
When you jumped off?
I jumped off, yeah. The bike went down and I run down the road. And I lost my footing and slid on my wallet here for about 50 feet. Got up and I'm still here. That
wallet must have helped save
and
you a
that
little
truck
bit.
stopped
Yes.
back there. and he's motioning people to go around. He's got the road plugged there and they're all going by. And this truck has a lift tailgate, and I'm still able to talk and do. And we had that bike on the tailgate of that truck, and I was going down the road in 15 minutes in the truck.
Did you have a helmet on?
I did. I had a leather suit on too.
Did you always have a helmet?
Always had a helmet.
Always wear a helmet?
Always had a leather suit.
Well, leather's good.
I got up on no harm on me whatsoever.
Wow.
Just scared shitless.
Well, no wonder.
But anyway, they brought my bike and put it in my garage. And I run into the house and got them a couple $100 bills and gave it to them. It was the best $100 bills I ever did.
Well, you lived through it too.
I lived through it, yeah. But that dump down there is the only thing that ever broke anything on me, right on my way home here.
How long did it take your ankle to get better?
Well, they fixed it up quick. I mean, it's got pins and screws in it, but it still works.
When did you start shooting skeet?
I come from a family of shooters.
So you've shot all your life?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've done, and had the first BB gun when I was about 6. A brother.
Okay, a brother?
He was the older brother.
Okay.
Took me under his wing and showed me how to do this and that.
Okay.
And he was my mentor.
Okay.
Way better than my dad, but Dad, he was just kind of.
Your dad had his hands full enough.
He had enough troubles. Yeah, but anyhow, yes, I started shooting because my brother just said that's what you're going to do. You know.
And at what age do you think?
Probably had my first BB gun at 6.
Yes. And then 22, 10 years old or 12 years old?
Straight through it. The Army had to shoot an M1 at Fort Jackson.
Okay.
And I'd been shooting an M1 at home. And I was already a decent shot. And I come out of there with the highest average anybody had for ages. and I got the weekend off.
Expert shooter.
I was expert plus.
So,
They had several guys wanting to know, where did you come from and what did you do? You know?
I grew up with a gun in my hand.
But anyway, I took the guns better than probably anything else I ever did.
Did you like pistols or rifles better?
Oh, I had pistols till I got old enough. The arm didn't want to stand still, you know.
Yeah.
But I had dozens and dozens of pistols. And at one time, I sold my gun collection. And
Why did you do that?
because I had a little house in Sligo,
Okay.
and I saw one day in the snow tracks around the whole house looking in the windows. And I had no place to put them, no really safe place. I had Winchesters on the walls, and I had them under beds. I had them in the closets.
So a safety precaution, you got rid of them.
Yeah, basically, I was afraid of losing them. They were too expensive to insure. I didn't have any great deal of money in them. And I knew when I liked the Winchester and a Colt, everybody else was going to like a Winchester and a Colt.
Yeah.
I got my first Winchester when I was a newspaper boy carrying papers for town. And instead of this old Winchester was in the side of a door of a guy's house there, and I'd throw the paper in and I'd see that little Winchester in the corner. And he was behind on his paper bill,
Oh,
and I traded him
some horse trading.
$7 paper bill for this Winchester,
Okay.
and I took that home in my paper sack and the bicycle, and I thought my mother was going to cave my head in. That was not a very good deal, but that little Winchester got me started. And all in my younger days, even if I couldn't afford it, I was still getting them. I would go to, they were obsolete, see, these Winchesters, because now you had bolt guns with telescopes, and you could get these Winchesters for pretty nothing. Like $7 for that one.
Yeah.
When I finally sold the whole mess,
Uh-huh.
I sold 135 of them to 3 guys that brought in a van, and they took my gun racks and all them guns and left in one night. And the missus is counting the money, and she come to me and says, "Hey, you got to help me count this, because I've counted it 3 times and I still don't know what it is." But anyhow, that was the story of them. If I'd have kept them Winchesters and Colts, easily $1 million today.
When did you start shooting skeet?
As soon as my arm got shaky that I couldn't hold my pistol anymore.
Okay. And where did you shoot skeet at?
Right down the road here, it's Savelli's.
Okay, at Savelli's.
Yeah,
Okay.
where you shot down there.
Okay. And you taught my wife how to shoot
Yes.
skeet too. We didn't quite master it,
Hey,
but we enjoyed the instruction.
well, I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Oh yeah, I had a good time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Where you could get 25 out of 25, I think I maybe got 15 out of 25, and
Well,
Sue maybe got 8 or 10 out of 25.
It takes a little coordination though. Some
Yeah.
people have it and some don't, you know.
Well,
But you can learn. I mean, but you have to work at it.
so, as a hunter, what kinds of game have you pursued over the years?
Well, I've never went after big stuff.
Did you ever go out west hunting?
I had 10 or 12 trips to Wyoming.
Out west, okay.
I had a couple trips to South Dakota. I went to the James Bay to shoot geese 3 or 4 times.
Where's James Bay at?
Way north. It's
in
above the
Canada.
Arctic Circle, yes.
Up in Canada.
And it is so far up there that it's just kind of nasty. I mean,
The weather wasn't quite, or is it like it is out here today?
Well, it's somewhat similar, but I was only there in the fall,
Okay.
and this northern lights were lighting up every night.
Isn't that pretty?
And you were leaving. The first time I was out there, I was sleeping in a tent. Now you had to go to Timmins up in, what is it? You flew to Timmins, drove to Timmins in the car. And in Timmins you got on an airplane and you went north for an hour on an airplane. And then you landed in a little hump in the woods. And you got off the plane with your bag and your stuff, and you had to walk up to a bunch of huts that was up there. And they're Indians, and they don't speak English, and they don't like
Eskimoian.
Eskimo. They were Eskimo Indian type thing, yeah. They got you in a canoe and put you down the river for about an hour. And then they found you come to a little camp where there was like a few huts and there was a lot of tents. And that's where you stayed for the 6 or 8 days you were there.
Were you ever warm while you're up there?
Well, it wasn't winter time,
So
but it's fall.
it's cold.
Okay, the birds are gathering up there so they come down here, but they're getting fattened up there. And the Indians are getting the return. We're paying, and the Indians are getting the money. They don't feed you real good, but you shoot a lot of birds because they know they're going to get the birds to eat, and you're going to pay them for doing that, and they're real happy. But a couple of years of going up there, that's enough. That's pretty crude stuff.
Have you ever seen the Northern Lights from Clarion County?
I saw them the other day.
Did they, any comparison at all to what you saw up there in Canada?
Nothing.
Like, yes. I hear that they're spectacular in some places.
When you're in a tent or you're laying there looking up at them, it makes the shivers run over you. It's gold, it's red, and it's green, and they're just doing it. It's crazy.
Magical.
Yeah. And it's right above you.
Okay, so you've hunted geese. Did you ever shoot like a mountain goat?
No. I was real happy with antelope and deer, mule deer, whitetail deer, and that's about the size of it.
What's the best eating animal, hunting animal that you ever shot? What did some people say elk's the best?
I've had just about everything going.
Venison's as good as anything?
Venison is just as good as anything, and it's better than a lot of this big game stuff. Yes.
How about fishing? Did you do fishing?
I fished when I was spring. Yes, I would bait fish for trout. I got a camp up in Potter County, and that's where I would go when I had time to go fishing up there.
Okay.
And little mountain streams with brook trout in. They used to stock all those little streams, but now they don't do that anymore.
Is trout as good of a fish as you ate?
It.
I know that the ones that are put in aren't as good, but the native ones are pretty good.
The native ones are great, yes.
Okay.
And that's basically what I used to fish for, native trout. But it got to be more work than it was worth. After you age up, you get kind of slippery on your feet. And you get on little rocks that you loved to just tiptoe over when you were 12 and 15. Now you fall in and get your ass wet,
How about you've hunted coyotes?
The what?
Coyotes?
I've gotten several, yes.
How about fishers? You ever get a fisher?
I've seen fishers. I never killed one.
Never got a fisher?
No.
How about, did you ever get a bear?
I never went after bear.
No bear.
I got one by
hitting it?
I went with a gang going bear hunting.
Okay.
And I took a pistol along because I didn't want to kill any of them.
Yeah.
And guess what happened?
It came your way.
A bear come by and I shot it. Now, what the hell did I do that for?
One shot?
One shot.
Oh,
44 special, a 44 Magnum.
Okay.
Now I had to go home, get my four-wheeler, and I had to get a couple of the guys, one to sit on the front of the,
to keep it down,
hold it down, and a couple to hold it, put it on the back, and then they had to help me out of the woods with it. It was heavy enough that you couldn't guide the four-wheeler to it. But it was a pain in the ass, but we got it out.
Did you save the bear hide?
No. I gave it away.
Good. Do you have a favorite hunting story?
No. And every hunting has a story, but most of them are not worth talking about.
Okay. Now we're going to get over to the hovercraft. Why in the world did you decide to go for a hovercraft?
Well, that you blame that on my daughter.
Which one?
Sherry.
The second one.
Yeah, she somehow or another, I told her I wanted to find one of these machines because I had a canoe and I go down the river and you could never get close enough to these geese when they were here, you know. You would be $1 short. They'd fly before you get there. And I was looking for something that would be able to chase the geese.
Okay.
And she found this. There were two brothers making these boats out in Wisconsin.
Okay.
She did this before I was even heard about a computer. That Linda didn't have one yet.
Okay.
But the daughter did. And anyway, she found these guys too, and they sent me some pictures. And lo and behold, I said, "Make me one of them." And he said, "Well, we're making some right now." He said, "First come, first served. We'll call you when we get one finished, and if you want to come and get it, you come and get it. It's going to be $7,000. And they were in Cuba City, Wisconsin.
So you drove from here to Wisconsin?
Yeah.
All right.
I had a trailer hitch put on one of the Explorers we had.
Okay.
And I went to Wisconsin by myself. Found these guys, and he gave me the boat, put the boat on my trailer. Now he said, we gotta show you a half an hour ride, how to run that. He said, "Where do you want to go? Do you want to go to the Wisconsin Creek, or do you want to go to Mississippi?" Oh, I said, "Mississippi, I'd like to see that." So away we went, and it was right in their backyard. And they put me in, showed me how to get the boat started, how to get it on and off, put it in the water. We went across the Mississippi. I just fell in love with that thing. It worked good. I wasn't a bit.
And it was brand new. This is
brand new, yeah.
Virgin truck.
Yeah. I come back. They did something I didn't want to do. There was barges going up and down the river.
Uh-huh.
And this is what they like to do. They like to get in the tail of the water,
Yeah.
motorboat. And that hovercraft would just go over top of them waves.
Uh-huh.
But it looked like he was going to drown to me.
Okay.
So I did not take any trips across
You didn't like that?
the river. But that damn river is about a mile across right there where it was at. It was a huge river. And they're just full of those big boats. And to be perfectly honest with you, I was kind of glad to get out of there. That river was a big river. And
Do you know how to swim?
I could swim, yeah, but
You
not that far.
Okay, but you can swim.
But I was able to put my boat on my trailer with no problem when I come back. It was just the feel of it. I had the feel of it already. You know, it had to raise up and go on, and it shut it off. Just a little bit like running a drag line. You know, you had to point it in the right direction. But yes, it was odd.
You were the first one around here with a hovercraft.
As far as I know, anyway.
Did you bump into anybody else that had a hovercraft?
Yes, I got a guy, a family down in New Bethlehem. They had hovercrafts too.
Shirey?
Shirey.
Shirey, okay.
And I took a lot of people rides on them. And
my family.
yeah. and I had some big rides too. I put it in the water at Cinnamahoney. I took it down to Cinnamahoney, turned right, went up to Susquehanna.
Did you ever go through any locks?
Never any logs.
No logs.
No.
Yeah.
But I went from the upriver, and turned around and come back down. I went on down through Renova, down into the next little town down there, and spent the night at my camp up in Potter County with the hovercraft.
Do you still have a camp up there?
Yeah, it's up by Cross Forks. I don't have it. I give it to the kids.
Oh, good, good.
Bob and Kathy had been taking care of it. But that was a big part of our growing up. We went to camp a lot.
Did you sell your hovercraft?
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody around here buy it? Or?
No. A lawyer from around Chicago.
No.
He bought it. The two brothers quit making them,
Okay.
and this guy wanted one of them, and the two brothers gave them names of people that they had sold them to, and somehow he got my name and then phone number, and I paid $7,000 for it, and he gave me 12.
How long did you have it?
I had it I wore out 3 of the rubber tubes underneath it. I must have had it for 5 years or more.
Well, that was a profitable investment.
Yeah, well, yeah, he wanted it real bad, and he didn't make any bones about it. Now, I told him everything I knew about it, because I did. And he called me the day after he got it. He said, "You told me not to loosen that up before you started it." But he said, "I didn't do that." He started it up full blast, and it jumped up and broke its nose off. But I didn't tell him, and I'd patched that nose up a couple different times. But anyway,
Which of your hobbies, like skeeting, hunting, gold winging, hovercraft, which one was any of them more favorite? It sounds like you enjoyed them all.
Well, it would be hard to put the best one, but shooting has stayed with me.
Shooting's your lifetimer.
I still shoot.
Your lifetimer.
Yeah.
Okay, in your 90 years of youthfulness, what's the proudest thing you've done so far?
The what?
The thing that you're most proud of, like I did it. Like,
What I did right. Well, the best thing I ever did was marry Linda.
perfect. That's a good answer.
That's what makes it.
Your daughters will approve of that.
That makes it hard, because she and I were together for 68 years, and she was clear, and she was the boss. I mean, seriously, I wasn't what you call henpecked, but I never really give a hoot about putting things in place, you know.
Yeah.
I've never had to go buy a pair of pants. She did everything for me. She got me whatever I needed, and I never even knew she got it till I needed it.
Well, she knew you needed it.
Yeah. Even she got to the point where she was so good with her phone, she could order from Walmart, and we'd run up there together, and they'd fill the trunk up with food and whatever she wanted. Now I got to go tramping around through the stores to find something that I don't even know I had.
Figure out what that is.
It is. The situation has changed dramatically, and not to my favor. It's I'm a good guy, but right now just somewhat lost.
Well, you've seen so many different changes in technology and society and the outdoors. What's one modern invention or change that surprised you the most?
I would have been very happy to stay in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Really.
Do you have a smartphone?
I have a smartphone,
So,
but I'm too dumb to use it.
well, now if you push a button, you can just talk to them and say,
Well,
give me the answers.
if it doesn't give you a problem.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't even want to do anything
It
for you.
doesn't, it doesn't want to listen to you.
Yeah. And I find the same thing. I got a truck that when you go in, it blares noise and shows signs and lights up and honks a horn. And I don't need that shit.
Yeah.
I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going and what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But no, this thing's telling me all these things. And hey, just between you and me, some of this technology is left to the technicians. I don't want it.
Well, it was a lot simpler when you just even just rolled down the window for the air conditioning.
Well, I have to say there's a lot of good stuff, but there's also a lot of technology that's not really too necessary too.
Well, on days like today, a heated seat's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have any advice for younger folks that are listening to this video that might help them in their future life?
Well, I can only say this. As you age up, you lose your ability to enjoy life. Enjoy yourself as much as you can while you can still move around. Honestly, keep your body moving. When you get old as I am, I can still move, but it takes a lot of stress to make it go. I mean, it doesn't come easy anymore.
If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it have been?
My advice would be have fun while you can and enjoy yourself, because the day will come when you can't.
All right. Some people say the key to a long marriage is never going to bed angry. Did you guys use that philosophy, or did you use two different remote controls for the TV?
Well, we never got into the struggling match too much, as far as
Good.
we never had major problems. And if we did, they didn't amount to much after very long. We were lucky. We had the desire to make it work. When I got married, when I said, I will take care of her as long as she lives. And I'm still doing it and trying to.
Now that she's in the nursing home, do you have to, they don't approve of it, but do you take some candy in, or do you take some fast food in or anything for her?
I have taken it. She has deteriorated so bad that she doesn't like anything.
She doesn't even like that. Okay, where did you get married at?
Little town of Coalport, Pennsylvania, halfway between her town and mine, in a church.
Okay. I guess that's pretty much, did she, like, when you tried to tell Linda a joke, did she laugh at them?
Well, we never were much for joking or laughing. In fact, we could sit around an evening and maybe never say a word. But I would always say, I'm glad you're here. I'd be happy to know you're sitting there. And she never had to tell me anything, but I was just happy that we had time together.
How many shells, like in skeet, there's 25 shots each round.
Mm-hmm.
In your lifetime, how many shots do you think?
Oh, Lord. That would be, it would be astronomical, but I have no idea.
Have you ever got 100 hits in a row?
Yes,
Wow, that's so.
I've had hundreds lots of times.
That's like in bowling. Some people bowl 300 once in a while,
Yeah.
but that they're not easy.
No, it isn't. It'd be easier for me to shoot 100 than it would be for me to roll a half a dozen.
Well, I understand. So, seeing how you're from the greatest generation ever, is there any other thoughts you want to pass on?
There's no generation that's better than another. What that bunch of boys did that went to the Second World War, somebody had to do it. And there was a lot of people that wouldn't, but there was a lot more people that did. They've run to the problem. And I don't see that happening anymore. But I don't see any real need for it either. But we needed a lot of help when the Japs bombed that.
Yes, that was. I had that luxury growing up as the baby boomers, so I got to reap some of the benefits of that.
But the problem is, somewhat, we've had so many shootouts now that don't amount to anything. But maybe they do to something, but looking in our past history, we bombed hell out of this guy. We got one guy, something like that. This is not the way life was back in my time. You had to, the boys that went to after Pearl Harbor, they were all mad. They were ready to go. And a whole lot of them didn't come home. But there was a bunch of other wars that people ran away. They didn't go the right. But you can't really blame anybody. Some of those wars were totally worthless.
The Vietnam War was my generation.
Yes.
And it was a worthless war.
Yeah.
That was the first time that I realized that the government can't be trusted, because they got us in that war and it was a worthless war.
When the bombs hit Pearl Harbor, everybody that I was around was just totally ready to do something, And I know I had at one time my brother and my sister and brother-in-law, they were all in the war at the same time. Brother-in-law was in Germany. Brother Owen was in Luzon and all those islands that they hopped around through. And he came back shot. I mean, he had malaria. He never amounted to what he was when he went in. When he came back, he was wore out, shot. But the poor bastard was a sniper.
Ah. Is he the one that taught you how to shoot?
Yeah.
Okay, see. He taught you well.
And what he had to do, he wouldn't even want to talk about it. And somebody had to do it,
Yes.
You know, this is.
Yes. So, all right. Well, this is podcast number 121. On Facebook, it's under Robert Gorley, and on YouTube, it's under Bob Gorley. So either one of those. I'd be up within a week. Thank you very much for your interview.
I don't Facebook or anything like that, so